What's going on, dudes and dudettes? So yes, over the weekend, Duke had a pretty big road victory against Florida State, which they usually have trouble beating that team out there in Florida, but able to get that victory, 76-67, and the freshman Jared McCain went off for 35 points, and that ties the Duke freshman overall record for most points scored in their freshman year. I think he's tied right now with Zion, and I forget if it's R.J. Barrett or Marvin Bagley, one of those two, maybe a Tatum, could be wrong, but yes, he's definitely tied with Zion. So he was close to getting it. He probably could have gotten it with some free throws late, but they just didn't give it to him, or he didn't really care or knew about it. So either way, they still got that victory, and he was pretty hated because he was hitting a bunch of threes, and he hit like 8 of them. So either way, great overall performance, and I believe he did win the ACC Freshman of the Week as well. So well deserved. Definitely needed that victory, especially since it's like the first time they've been away from Cameron Indoor since like early February. So it was a nice way to get that road victory, and pretty soon playing against North Carolina soon. So looking forward to getting that revenge victory against them. And then speaking of the like March Madness tournament, they finally did release some type of seeding. I don't know if these are 100% official, but it did come from like the March Madness tournament like main account and stuff. So I'm assuming these are real, but they could also be projections. But either way, Duke is, as of right now, a number 3 seed, and they're like the lowest of that. I think they're like the 12th 3 seed overall in the tournament, which is okay, I guess, even though they are ranked like number 9 in the AP poll last week, so you would think they would be at least a top 10 and all that stuff, but like a higher 3 seed. But I believe Marquette over the weekend did lose pretty badly to UConn, so maybe that bumps them up, maybe not into the number 2 seed, but they at least like a higher 3 seed overall. And I believe they did move up 1 spot in the AP poll this week to number 8. So we'll see how that ends up shaking down for them. But yes, depending on these certain matchups, and if you go by certain voodoo and traditions when it comes to like picking certain numbers when it comes to that March Madness tournament, I want to say it's either 3, 4. It used to be something like you always have to pick certain upsets here over certain teams, so you don't want your better team like a Duke in those situations. But I've seen them lose even like as a number 1, the number 2, number 3 team overall in their area. So either way, it doesn't really matter. You've even seen big time upsets when the way less team now has beaten the number 1 team. I think it was like Kansas pretty recently. Even Virginia did a couple years back. They lost in the first round and all that stuff. So yeah, definitely getting ready for this big time March Madness tournament coming up soon. And there was a 5-star defensive lineman, University of Georgia commit, Justice Terry, who did schedule a visit to USC over the weekend, which is pretty cool. So I guess we'll know the official time when he will be visiting on campus, but I'm pretty sure it's sometime in the middle of March. But this is a big time get because he's definitely one of the top 5-star defensive linemen out there in that 2025 class. So looking to see what they can do. I know he did recently say that yes, he is kind of taking visits here and there, even though he still says he's still 100% committed to Georgia. But Juju Lewis, the future quarterback for USC, is still doing the same thing. So yeah, we'll see what ends up happening. But this coach, Eric Henderson for USC, is the real deal, especially after his press conference they had. I think it was Thursday this last week. Was pretty awesome, and a real reason why they are getting a lot of hype from a lot of these defensive linemen in the future classes. So looking forward to seeing what they could do. And speaking of another, in the trenches player, a 4-star interior offensive lineman, I believe his name was Juan Gaston. He did say pretty recently that there's like a handful of teams he is hearing a lot from in the past couple of weeks, and USC is one of those teams. So it looks like he will be a high priority player for them when it comes to one of their offensive linemen in that 2025 class. So looking to see if they do nab this guy in the near future. And the USC women's basketball team did move up to number 7 in the AP poll, which is nice for them after a couple of sweeping victories up there in Oregon. But they also did have some news that Juju Watkins did make also the freshman Pac-12 Player of the Week and the regular Player of the Week for the Pac-12 on the women's side. And I believe when it comes to the freshman, it's like her 13th time she's done it. I think she already broke the record of not only consecutive times winning that in one season, but multiple, like throughout the whole entire season. So congrats to her. Yes, I do not know why she's not getting some more Player of the Year talk or anything like that. And USC is a top now 7 team overall in the country on the women's side. So like I said, it's kind of weird that all the talk is Caitlin Clark and the South Carolina women or LSU women's, like stuff like that. But she definitely deserves some spotlight instead of just here on the West Coast here and there. And yeah, the Anaheim Ducks went 1-for-1 in their most recent games. They did lose pretty badly to the Toronto Maple Leafs 2-9 when they beat the Buffalo Sabres yesterday 4-3, which is pretty nice. So overall, I guess it's not bad going 1-for-1 in 2 games, but hoping for some better results soon. And then there are some rumors out there that the LA Chargers are looking to be interested in drafting Frank Gore Jr. from Southern Miss. And obviously he is the son to Frank Gore, who Jim Harbaugh did coach for a couple years out there in San Francisco. So maybe looking to get a legacy on his team. And I remember him having a really good game like a year or so ago. He had like over 200 and something plus yards and multiple touchdowns. So he is very talented, and I'm pretty sure he has been doing really good in this, bowl circuit to get ready for the NFL Draft Combine. So I'm pretty sure he's invited, so we'll see what his numbers are like. But yeah, to project him to maybe be in like depending on how well his numbers are, could be as high as 5, but I would definitely be cool with a 6th or 7th round draft pick for him to the LA Chargers. So looking forward to seeing where he ends up. And FanDuel did do a over-under in total wins when it comes to Duke football next season, and they had them around 6.5, I believe. So obviously I went through the schedule to see if we get pretty close to 6, and I was pretty lenient on some of the better teams here and there, but there's definitely a lot more wins than 6 in my opinion. So obviously they start off with Elon, so that has to be win number 1. Then they get Northwestern, win number 2. UConn, number 3. Middle Tennessee State, win number 4. North Carolina, that's a toss-up, so not giving them that. Georgia Tech, I think they could beat, so that's at least 5. FSU, probably not. SMU, another toss-up. Miami's a toss-up. NC State, here and there, because they're rivals, could be a toss-up. Virginia Tech and Wake Forest to end the season. So I'm pretty much predicting like a 7 to 8 win season, depending how good those 50-50 games go for them, depending on how bad those other teams look. But yes, either way, it should be over. I think, as I mentioned in previous videos, for USC's like 7.5, I projected them to get closer to like 9 or 10 if I'm not mistaken. So yes, if you're a betting person and you're in Vegas, might as well just put the overs on a couple of my teams. And it was a pretty busy All-Star weekend for a lot of the Duke guys even. Obviously, the first game, the Rising Stars Challenge that happened on Friday. Derek Lively II from Dallas was there. And then also Paulo Moncaro in his second year for the Orlando Magic was there playing in that game. So that was pretty cool. Then in the next day, it was just Paulo Moncaro doing some of the skills challenge and stuff. So that was pretty cool to have him involved. And then obviously the main All-Star game on Sunday, both Jason Tatum and Paulo Banchero were in that game. And I think it's even Banchero, he's the youngest guy at like 21 to be in the All-Star game. It's pretty crazy. I thought Kobe was pretty young, but I don't think he made it as early as I thought. So either way, that's pretty cool. Definitely big congrats to all those guys during that Duke weekend, and even the Lakers as well. Obviously, once AD and LeBron showed up, I think they barely just showed up maybe Sunday for that game, got in a light practice and shoot around, and barely played in the game. LeBron barely played. He did have a couple of nice dunks, and LeBron and AD did do some stuff around, but other than that, It's a pretty bad game, but offensively it was pretty crazy. I think the East won that total 211 to the West is 186 final score. So yeah, definitely people want it to be a little bit more competitive than that. It was a couple years ago where they had like that target score where it was like 24, the next 24 points or something like that added to one of the scores, and whoever got there first, it was a bit better and it came down to the wire. But I don't know, they got back to the East and West instead of that like fantasy draft that they did with usually LeBron and Giannis picking their players. But I don't know, we'll see what ends up happening, because you can't give these guys money. They have definitely enough money, but maybe if you add more roster spots, as ex-Duke player JJ Redick has mentioned before in the past, add like 3 to 6 more spots total, and yeah, those older guys will get their like 5 to 10 minutes because they don't really want to play and get hurt. Even LeBron was still nursing his ankle that he was getting treatment for leading up to that game too, so who knows if he's even going to be 100% ready to come back this Thursday against the Warriors officially. But yeah, then those other younger players or guys who are well deserving enough who just missed it, especially this year, would have been able to get in there and play. So you never know. We'll see what happens. Thanks for watching, people. Like and subscribe. Comment down below. Let me know what y'all think. Have a good rest of your day. Bye.